the silence has been one of the most potent weapons that has been used against women and men who face gender-based violence and sexual abuse. Jamaicans, I'm excited to talk to you as someone who is a survivor and now a mentor to other persons. So let's start first of all, Shaneika, with your story, because I find that a lot of people victimize the victim, like how you reach this up, how you end up in a situation that why you never come out. For you, how did it all begin?
All right, so first of all, I grew up in a very, persons would say, strict home, and I grew up under strict religion, what you'd call, rules and stuff like that. So when I left Michael in 2010, that's when I did my diploma. I met my ex-husband there and we got married. I was 22. And this was basically because of how I was brought up. So I didn't want to get into a relationship without actually going through what I believed in and all of that. And things went okay for a while. I don't know where it chipped off or anything like that. But I know that my stepfather who grew me, he passed away. And then after that, everything started going crazy.
I was asking if there was a close relationship between your ex and your stepfather.
I would say so, but then my stepfather had his hang-ups about him because I think my stepfather could, I don't want to use the term see things, but he could discern things, because I remember him saying to me that, I'm to be careful and not to take him at face value. I was actually sharing that with a young lady this morning, and I didn't know what it meant then, but then going through, or the first time that I was actually abused, it was really shocking to me, because I met in an accident in 2016 where my car overturned with me, broke a rib and all of that. So I was on bed rest, I couldn't move, and that was the first time that he actually hit me. So I was just there laying down, and this man was just there going. I then found out that his family, or his father, had a history of hitting his mother. I even had to go there to talk to the father at one point early in my policing career to say, if she wants to leave, allow her to go and all of that. I think there and then I kind of became timid, because I'm saying, if this man does this, what would his son do? What would his son not do? But then it didn't come across to me at that point to say whatever, because this was my husband, and truthfully, I loved him. I did my best at my relationship at the time. And so it was really shocking to me. I was telling the young lady today that even where church was concerned, I shared, when I decided to get a divorce, I shared it with my pastor, anticipating that you would get some sort of support. There was none. I literally, to date, live alone and would have gone under, pull myself out certain way, read books and probably just listen to other people's stories. I don't even know how I got out. I think I took my small business for it, share with other women. It was funny that after the whole incident, and it happened again, a teacher of mine, she's like a mom to me. She was the one who asked me, why am I still here? And, I'm educated and you can do so many things. Don't allow anybody to do that. In July of 2017, I saw an ad in the paper for, I think it's called JET program or something like that, where they wanted English teachers and all of that. And he was a teacher, as was I at the time, trained. And so I said to him, seeing that you have been teaching, you could go on this program.
So the JET program, you're saying, kind of gave you that out.
Yeah, it did, because I told him that I saw it in the paper, and he was like, why don't we both go? And I said to him, no, I just started before, so it would be best for you to go. And if anything, I'd come afterwards and all of that. He left 2017. Like, I think that was my way of escaping, because persons will tend to tell people that, you need to get out of the situation, you need to this, you need to that. But I started counseling, and this time I was still doing physiotherapy for my back and my neck and all of that. So every time I went to physio, the lady kept saying to me that I'm always tense and my pressure is always low. And so the exercises that I needed to do, they weren't taking effect, because it's like my body was not accepting it or whatever. So she said I needed to see a psychiatrist, and I saw the psychiatrist, and then I ended up in counseling again. And he returned to Jamaica in 2018. And the counselor said that he wanted to speak to him, because I had shared with the counselor all of that. And what persons don't know is there's a lot of women out there who would have gone through other things, because there are things that I've never shared with even my mom that I would have gone through as a child. And so going through that with him was sort of a trigger for me. And I didn't remember these things until I went to the counselor, and he was asking me questions. And I remember he asked me a specific question, and I looked down on the ground, and he said he wanted whatever I was looking at, because I was there looking for a while. And I shared with him when I was growing up, and I can talk about it now, because even though I'm getting teary-eyed, I think I'm over it enough. But I would have been molested growing up, even by a family member, and I've never shared it, because I think my mind would have pushed it aside and, try to always fight and go above it. And it's funny how even in my job now, you said something earlier about persons saying, what you do and why this happened, and people start telling you, say, you were probably the problem, or this is it and that, and all of those things. And so my job is crazy. And, there are a lot of things that would have happened to me. Sometimes I cry and I say, why these things, like it following you up, like men will say things, or they will attempt to do things, and you understand what I mean. So you sit down and you're like, what I do? Why these things keep coming around? So even the place where you're supposed to feel most protected, you tend to still be in that shell where you're saying, oh my God. And then outside of that, because even to date, I went away, and I'll share this with you. I went away the other day, and as soon as I got to my aunt's house, I got a call about some colleagues of mine saying all sorts of things about me and how I was when I was at Central, and all the people I've been with and whatever. And these are things that I don't even know about. And, that's why my husband left me and blah, 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 all sorts of things. And I'm like, these people don't even know what I would have gone through, or what I would have gone through even in the force that I'm now a part of. And I hold it together. I remember I was at a particular division, and I went through it, and I stood my ground. And that was how I ended up where I am now. And I know that possibly the reason why I ended up there was only to cover shame then, or whatever. And I know also that I possibly will remain this way, as in a constable, if I don't move forward or decide to leave. But it doesn't matter to me, because I know who I am. And so domestic violence is really affecting a lot of people out there. Sexual violence, a lot of these women, it's like something that follows them around if they don't really get up and put an end to it, because majority of them, I did something, and I tried to figure out, like I would ask the question among a lot of women who I get around, And a lot of them, one girl could say to me that, she said, Shaneika, many of us, when we're growing up, it was like a thing. Men mess around us and whatever, but we just scrape it aside and just move on as if it is normal. And then, even though in this country we have the laws, they're there that speak to it. We have laws that speak to it within the workplace and all of that, but they're not being enforced. And as soon as you come forward to say something about it, it's as if you are shoved aside. I know that.
So one of the things I'm hearing, Shaneika, one of the things I'm hearing is we have become so accustomed to being silent, to putting it in the back of our minds that when it happens again or any other type of trauma, automatically we learn that we must put it away, hide it, put it to the back of our minds. And so what I'm hearing is from your experience as a child, because you were so good at putting it away, that when the domestic abuse happened, you put that away as well.
For a while, honestly, I did because I didn't know.
I wanted to speak to the women who are watching, who have put it away, who right now are looking at you and saying, oh my gosh, that's me. I never remember what it happened to me because it was so bad. I put it away. But what was the difference for you in facing it, in speaking about it? Is it better than putting it away?
I think it is, because when we look at it, even with dealing in the job that I'm in now, and the fact that I have to deal with women who are going through this situation, if I did not speak about it, I wouldn't be strong enough to actually take them aside and share with them. And so the lessons and the experience is good in the sense that I'm able to say to them, I'm able to be touched with what they would have gone through and not just be saying off my head, oh, if you don't come out, this is going to happen or whatever. I know for a fact that when it happens once, this person will come and they're sorry and all of that, but they will return. And even when the first instance where it happened to me, my teacher said to me, you need to go because it's going to happen again, no matter how it comes about. And then if someone can hit you in a state where you are unable to even help yourself, that is even worse. I wasn't even able to lift an arm to say, don't do that or anything. I just laid there and the tears running out of the side of my eyes and whatever. And that was it, So I would say to these women, get up and get out. Even when I came on Smile Jamaica and I spoke about it after a feature that I did with Observer. And I was saying that, listen, persons called me afterwards and I said to them, it doesn't matter. When my husband and I decided that we were going to get a divorce, he said to me that, oh, I know that it's coming, but I don't have any money now. And I said, okay, I will find the money because I'm young and I don't want to sit down with you attached to me forever. I need to move forward. And that was when, I had to kick into a certain mode because I had to think about my rent. I had to think about everything because now I was left alone. I grew up very, very poor, very humble beginnings. And so I am still not where I want to be with a lot of things, but I had to step forward and start doing things for myself. And I believe that I owe it to God where he would have given me a certain intrinsic motivation. I know not every woman is going to be intrinsically motivated to get up and say, let me do this or let me do that, So I'd say to find someone who you can talk to, find something that you love. I've always said everybody has a talent or something that can be done. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it is not, as my grandfather would say, as long as you're not a thief. Just find something to do, because most of the time, the reason why these women stick around, Dahlia, is because of the fact that, they can get, a lady said to me, a simple thing as food. She just want to say her pitney can't eat something. So some of them are they're even mothers to their children, to the children of these men or to the children of these women, because men do get abused too. And that I want to put out there as well. So whether it is on the male or the female side, get up and do something for yourself, because once this person, this abuser realizes that, hey, you totally depend on me, they're going to continue because they know you're not going anywhere. And I want for them to say to themselves that I need to be liberated from this situation. Speak to people. People are out there who will assist if you come genuinely to them. And I thank God every day, not that I would not have tried, but at the time my union did not bring a child to this day. So, it was kind of even more simpler for me.
Right.
My mother grew up all by herself. And so, I was very grateful that that didn't happen. But these women, these men have to get up for themselves, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to really get up for you.
Yes.
And nobody knows what you are going through.
You know what, Shaneika? I mean, I think everything in life, good and bad, happens for a purpose. And I feel like God has placed you in a position where women who are watching this, men who are watching this, who are victims of gender-based violence, can know that they have an ally and they have a friend and they have someone who literally has walked this walk, that they can reach out to in the Jamaican Constabulary Force, because you have experienced it, and that what you've shared will make them more powerful. I could talk to you all afternoon. I may call you back because I still have some questions. We're out of time. But always great talking to you. All the best. And thank you so much for speaking with us today.
All righty.